Welcome to the drama show. So, as a lot of you know, if you look hard enough, you can find some drama happening on the internet every single day regarding celebrities, musicians, content creators, streamers. There's always somebody that's got something going on. Today, the situation involves a streamer that a lot of you guys might be familiar with by the name of Mizkif. And we've actually talked about him before, and I've known him since the Ice Poseidon days. Like, not personally, but I've known of him, and he used to just be a viewer and would come on the stream, and you could tell that he wanted to get something going himself. And to see all these years later that he's now one of the bigger streamers on Twitch, you got to give a shout out to him for that. Got to respect the hustle. And the other streamer involved is somebody I'm not really familiar with, but I believe you say her name is Kaho. Now, if I'm saying it wrong, please correct me down in the comments. I do apologize. But apparently, Mizkif went to Japan and they came across a tree. And the branches kind of looked like a pull-up bar, and it allowed you to do some pull-ups and some other stuff. So they had a little bit of fun with it. But these trees were cherry blossom trees, and Kaho and a lot of the people that are into Japanese culture and from the Japanese community and from Japan themselves were not very happy with this. And I didn't really understand, so I had to dive in and do a little bit of research. So I went and Googled to see how important they were to Japan's culture. And some of these things in here I might say wrong, so I do apologize for that again. But it said, however, they are more than simply beautiful trees, as sakura have strong ties to Japan's history, culture, and identity. Originally used to divine the year's harvest, sakura came to embody wabi-sabi philosophy and Shinto ideals of impermanence, hope, and renewal, and are now one of Japan's most iconic natural symbols. Another response from Google said, yes, cherry blossom trees, or sakura, are incredibly important in Japanese culture, symbolizing beauty, impermanence, and the fleeting nature of life, and are celebrated with festivals and traditions like Hanami, cherry blossom viewing. Now, all of that is enough of a reason to not mess with these trees, but going forward, it also said cherry blossom trees in general have a lifespan of 20 to 40 years, with their peak bloom typically lasting for about 1 or 2 weeks, depending on the species and weather conditions. So after a quick Google, I can see why people would be upset about this, because first and foremost, they're important to the Japanese culture, which is enough of a reason to not mess with them. And I'm assuming that Mizkif didn't know this, but also because they only are in peak bloom for 1 to 2 weeks. So if you're jumping on them and knocking the leaves and the flowers and all that stuff off, you're ruining the short amount of time that they actually have to enjoy this tree. So again, I don't understand why anybody would feel like it's not something that they're allowed to be upset about. At the end of the day, we're a tourist in somebody else's country, and we may not know something, and that's fine. And we might make some mistakes. That's going to happen. But all you have to do is apologize when you make those mistakes. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case of what's happened. So Kaho explained some of it on a stream, and I saw some of the clips where she explained that she did send a message to Mizkif about them potentially coming together on a stream and talking about this, and him being able to clear the air and make himself look a little bit better. And then the way he responded to her, that she felt was very disrespectful.
And it's all sounded like you were upset with me for making a big deal. If you want to explain yourself, I'm all happy. I'm always happy to appear on your stream or video with just content. Take the shit from your community, help make you look good by hearing you out. Let me know if there is anything you'd like to do. But please know it wasn't a personal attack on you or the other guys in the video. I would have felt and done the same to other creators I met. Locals in Japan are too frustrated with tourists causing troubles, whether they do that out of malice or oblivion. Now again, nice and simple. Well, professional. And then the response. You know what? Other English speaker who is like as a second language. English is my second language, but I guess I feel like my writing sounds more mature. Because the response I got was, now I have Johnny Somara cancel me. You don't realize what you've done to me. Please leave me alone. Me. What the what did I say? It's not about you. I'm so outraged. Wow. Are you shitting on him? Because he sent me a personal message. Yeah, shitting on me. Yes, that's why. And it's all about me. There are like 3 me in 3 sentences. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so your community actually reflects you. Wow. I was shocked. And he actually deleted that comment later on from like a Discord. Yeah, but of course I screenshot it as evidence. Yeah, it's like so disappointing. I got so personally disappointed. Up until that point, I thought like, you know what? You know, he didn't know, or they didn't know. I mean, it's not about that's one guy. They didn't know. You know, of course, they can always excuse it. I was gonna, you know, help them have the opportunity to explain themselves, even to the Japanese community and the English community. And they were like, oh, yeah, really rude response. Really rude.
Now, if I'm being completely honest, I understand some people's argument. Like, this isn't the end of the world. It's not the worst possible thing that can happen. He obviously didn't know. I don't think that he went out of his way to be like, I'm going to disrespect this important part of their culture. The problem that I have is the way that people respond to things. Mistakes get made all the time. People make accidents. People don't know enough stuff and they do certain things. It's the way that you respond when you get called out for it that really matters, if you ask me. And the fact that he responded in a way to say, look what you're doing to me, you're doing this and leave me alone, instead of just saying, hey, you know what, I didn't know. So I do apologize, and I'll happily get together with you if you'd like to discuss this, or you know what, I don't want to do that, but I am going to give you an apology, and I'll post an apology on my Twitter and other social media because I didn't mean to disrespect the culture. I came there to enjoy Japan. I wanted to enjoy the culture, and I didn't really think anything of it. We just saw a tree, we were having some fun, and I apologize that I decided to do that. It's not hard to do that. So it's not so much that what he did is the end of the world. It's the biggest thing ever, because it's not. Everybody's going to get on with their life. It's really not that serious. Now, are there some people that might take it that serious and really try to slander him? And of course, that's always going to happen. But you've got to ignore those people. That's not what the focus is. The focus is on the people that are actually level-headed. And all those people want is just a basic apology and just an understanding of why you might have done something like that, and you not knowing is more than enough reason, and that's really all you have to say. And in my opinion, the shit dies out, except the crazy people. They might still get at you a little bit, but again, that's just the way that the internet works. He's been a streamer for a long time. He knows this by now, so it's really not that serious. But to respond in a way where you're just defensive and doubling down and making it seem like you did nothing wrong and that everybody should just leave you alone and why are you doing this to me, is just weirdo energy, and I don't really understand why he would approach it that way. But she also commented on the fact that he has not said anything to his community, who I assume is also harassing her.
When some of their community, I guess you have seen that, have been very toxic, and they haven't said anything. And their community has been blaming me for not saying like, oh, please don't put the blame on them, anything. I haven't, seriously. Your guys haven't said anything, try to diminish the hate toward me. So it's like, stop being one-sided. It's like, I want to say.
So as far as that situation goes, obviously a streamer cannot control their entire community. Almost every big community has a small percentage of absolute psychos who will go to war for their streamer. Regardless of what they say, they will harass people, dox people, threaten people. They will do all sorts of crazy stuff that streamer would not stand by. The problem is, when that stuff starts to happen, I feel like it's up to the streamer to at least make a comment. Say, hey guys, listen, I understand that there's this little divide between me and this other streamer. We're having a little back and forth. We're disagreeing on it, whatever the case is, but I don't want you guys to go over there and send death threats. I don't want you to go harass them. Like, that's not what I'm about. Let us just handle this, right? And if people continue to do it, there's nothing you can do about that. But at least you put some words forward, and it looks like you made an effort to at least try to control your community. And I feel like that as a streamer is the least you can do. But to not do that, that just kind of looks foolish. Like, it just doesn't really make any sense to me. It's not hard for you to just make a statement and try to keep things light. And it's no different than the other streamer saying the same thing. I'm not trying to hate on this person. I didn't agree with what they did, and I believe she's done that. And if she hasn't, she should do that as well. Both sides should always make it clear that they're not here to have people send death threats, to dox people, to do any crazy shit. They're just calling out something they don't agree with. They're going to go back and forth a little bit. You guys don't have to get involved like that. Of course, you can back me. You can support me on my side, but we don't need to go and harass people over it. That's all people got to say. And again, it's not going to control a whole community. That's a given. But to not do the littlest amount, that's super easy for you to do, to just say a couple words on a stream, it's just a little bit, it's a little lazy. It's a little pathetic. It's like, it's not hard to do. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the only place that I'm coming from. I feel like he can say that to his community. I believe she has to hers. And if she hasn't, she should as well. But in all reality, this could have all been done and over with if he would have just said, yo, I apologize. I didn't know. We saw a tree. I work out. I was like, yo, I could do pull-ups, and we had some fun. We thought that it'd be cool. People laughed at it. We didn't really think much of it. But now that I'm realizing how important it is to your culture and how people actually feel about it, I just want to make sure that you guys know I am sorry and I apologize. Like, it's not that difficult. You know, like you can't be expected to know every single thing about a culture when you go to a country. As much as you research, if you haven't grown up in that culture, there's always going to be some things that you miss. And so once you step on some toes regarding some of those things, you just apologize and say, hey, now I've learned something new, and I'm sorry that I didn't know that. So now you could go do a stream where you enjoy a bunch of these cherry blossom trees and go look at them and talk a little bit about, like, you could turn it into a segment. Like, you can end up making money off of you apologizing and then diving into that aspect of the culture and having a better understanding of it. It's just not, I don't know. It doesn't have to be what it is. And I feel like it gets this way because people get so stuck in their head that they don't owe an apology. They don't have to apologize. And I don't know if this comes from being really popular and your community kind of backs you, and so you feel justified. Your community is always going to back you. That's why they're your community, right? So it's almost like the person that has all the yes men around them, and that person tells them that they're right or they're okay in doing what they're doing, so they keep doing it. Instead of looking at any outside sources that are saying otherwise and realizing, okay, let me step back a second and realize that maybe I made a mistake, and all I have to do is just say sorry. You know, but again, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. It's not like people died and there's a genocide and all sorts of shit, but it doesn't matter if it's not the biggest deal. What matters is something was done that upset people of a certain culture that you were going over to their country as a guest, as a tourist to enjoy, and you made a mistake. And I feel like it's proper for you to then say, hey, I apologize. My bad. That's it. I don't know if I'm crazy for that. You guys let me know in the comments, but I saw that. Just wanted to talk about it. I will catch you in the next one, homies.